Hey everyone, what's going on? We're live on playback. Um, this is Zain Zinger Part 2. Hope all is going well on this Sunday morning. Sunday in November, November 16th, the day after UFC 322, the day after another chaotic week in the world of college football. Um, it's should be a fun stream today. Should go about 30 or so minutes, as per usual, talking about all things in the world of sports. Stuff we didn't get to on Bando's Breakdowns episode 67. Potentially teasing some new interviews that are going to come out later this coming week, and so much more. But before we get started with that, let's go over a few quick reminders, starting with Novig. Novig, of course, is our new commercial sponsor. Fairly recently, within the last couple of months, they've been good to us so far. We really enjoy using the app. So without further ado, here we go. All right, Sanzinger Part 2 is powered by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Available now in 35 states, including California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and New York. On Novig, you're 10 times more likely to win long term compared to a traditional sports book because you're playing against real users and not the house. Sign up today and use the promo code ETB Network for exclusive bonuses. Of course, Novig, where plans play smarter, must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And based on how we did this week on Bando's Blitz, and by the way, I owe everybody an apology. I miswrote the record that I had in week 11. We actually went 1-2 in week 11. So going into this week, we were 13-17. So we will update that and make sure that's corrected. Let's see how we did on predictions though for Bando's Blitz, because to be quite honest with you, it's been one of those weekends. I was down in Champaign. I don't remember who I had. So let's take a look at that before we get started. So we had Notre Dame to cover against Pittsburgh. They did that. Um, they did that comfortably. I don't believe the over in the Indiana Wisconsin game hit, but we can double check on that really quickly. Let's do that. Should be able to run the ball successfully. Sorry that I didn't think it would play. My bad. Let's double check on this USC -6.5. Let's look up that final score while we have it. Hang on 1 second. 26-21. So that did not cover. The spread was 6.5. Wisconsin versus Indiana. I think it was 37. But let's double check on this too. Um, yeah, 31-7. So I don't believe I think I had the over in the game. Let's double check on this really quick while we're here. 1 second. Okay, let's see here. The over under was 41.5 or 44.5. So that did not hit. So that's a loss for us there. So 1-1 because Notre Dame covered against Pittsburgh. I think it was 37-13. So we were 1-2 on week 12. So not great. Took an over, which probably was not. I should have just took Indiana. I thought Indiana was gonna win, but I wasn't sure. Given I was contemplating against Washington that they could cover, so I was wrong on that. So I apologize there. So we won Notre Dame, we lost Indiana, and we lost USC. So with that being said, we are now 14-19 instead of whatever I said that we were 12-18 going in. We were 13-17 going in. So we'll make sure to correct that moving forward, and I will remind you guys on the next Bando's Blitz of the corrected record as well. But again, just as a reminder, 13-17 going into the week, 14-19 now overall going into week 13 of college football. So those were my college football picks on Bando's Blitz. Let's take a look how I did on Yahoo as I pick 25 games a week on there. And yeah, let's take a look at how I did on these. And I forgot to pick on ESPN, so I lost all those, which is unfortunate because I would have won a couple of them. In week 12, I went 13-12 overall. My record hasn't been fully updated yet. Going into this week, I was 137 and 134. So now this would put me at 150, or excuse me, yeah, 150 and 146 for the season. So we would still be a few games above 500, which is not bad. Hopefully, week 13 can give us some better results, but did okay against the spread. We're still above 500, so I'll take it for the Yahoo front. All right, let's talk about Illinois versus Maryland yesterday. I went to the game. Illinois 24-6 was your final there in Champaign. Good win for the Illini. They are now 7-3 on the season with 2 games to go. Luke Altmaier now has 56 touchdown passes, which is tied for second in Illinois history. It was per Illini stats and notes. Let's see, Illinois. Um, Illinois. Brett Bielema made history. It's the best stretch of Illinois football over the last 5 years. He now has, I believe it's 35 wins now, which is the best 5 year start for a coach in Illinois history. So it's clear that his investment is paying off. It'll be interesting to see where Illinois is potentially ranked in the AP poll this week, as several of the teams in the bottom 20s were defeated on Saturday. So maybe Illinois can find themselves bumped up into the AP poll, which they have not been ranked for several weeks now. Maybe it's time that they get the respect they deserve. They did enough to cover the 14-point number. The under on the game hit. So anybody who liked really good defense yesterday, the under was the play there, and you won on that. Let's take a look at what other numbers there were from yesterday. This is per Illinois Communications. Let's take a look. And shout out to them for all they do. They do an amazing job of what they do. Caden Fagan now has 6 rushing touchdowns on the year. Altmaier, 234 total yards, 172 through the air, 62 on the ground. Juice Williams for the second most touchdown passes, as I just alluded to. He also becomes the first player in Illini history with back-to-back seasons of 20 or more touchdown passes. Altmaier can be in sole possession of second if he throws 1 touchdown next Saturday night against Wisconsin, which is a game that I was hinting at a few days ago that I might be at. I'm not going to be there anymore with the late start. I have nowhere to stay in Madison, but it should be a good game, and more than likely I'll be back for the final regular season game against Northwestern. Let's see. Illinois is 1 win away from tying the program record for wins during a 2-year period, which they currently have 17. Its most wins over a 2-year period since 89 and 90. John Makovic, then coach in that era, won 18. So Bielema could not only tie it, but he could break Makovic's record if they win 2 more games this year, whether that's this week and Northwestern, whether it's they win the next 2 games and they lose the bowl game. As long as he wins 2 more, he can do that there as well. Illinois has 7 wins or more for the first time since 2010-2011, and it's not even a question that these teams are way better than the teams of that era. It's not even close, and they're more nationally relevant, obviously, with multiple Big Noon kickoff games and multiple CBS games and stuff like that. Illinois has 30 wins over the last 4 seasons, tied for its most wins over a 4-year period since they won 31 games from 81 to 84. And as I allude to every week, Illinois is a wagon at home, 11-2 over the last 2 seasons. Only 2 losses coming to Minnesota and Ohio State. That's pretty freaking good, which means Northwestern, and they're going to have an uphill battle, or if they don't win the Minnesota game this Saturday at Wrigley Field after losing to Michigan yesterday, which is a game that all of us had Northwestern covering the number, which I was excited that they covered. They lost by 2, 24-22. But if Northwestern can't win the Minnesota game next week at Wrigley Field, they're going to have an uphill battle trying to beat Illinois in a venue that has given road teams fits for 2 years now. But yeah, that's basically it for the... Matthew Bailey, 10 tackles yesterday. Gabe Akis and Matt Farrell or Pat Farrell rather, um, sacked Maryland yesterday, and Maryland's only given up 4 sacks on the year. Akis is in a tie with Scott Davis for the second most in program history with 23. Um, and Illinois didn't allow Maryland to score at all in the second half. So Maryland falls to 4-6, which would mean they need 2 wins to become bowl eligible. I don't think it's happening. I think at the very least it finishes 5-7 because it plays Michigan in College Park this coming Saturday. Which, if Maryland keeps it interesting, it'll be a tough day for Michigan. But if Maryland plays the way it did yesterday, which was very flat offensively and just could not stop the run whatsoever, and just couldn't force Illinois into turnovers really. Besides that one interception earlier in the game, but outside of that, if they can't do those things, they'll get routed by Michigan. And then the last game of the year, they're playing Penn State. Penn State finally picked up its first conference win of the year, beating Michigan State on Michigan State's senior day in Spartan Stadium to remain in contention for a bowl. Penn State needs two more wins to do so. It draws Nebraska. Um, it draws Nebraska next week in the final home game in State College, and then the next week it plays Rutgers. So there's a good chance Penn State could still go to a bowl at 6-6. They couldn't clinch bowl eligibility as they could be clinching bowl eligibility this week. This coming Saturday, had they beat Indiana, but they didn't win. So now Penn State has to win out in order to do that. Let's see what else is there from this game. Yeah, good win for Illinois. It was a 56,000 plus crowd yesterday. It wasn't good enough for a sellout. Unfortunately, the student section, just as a note, was extremely weak. And I just want to talk about the student section and how that made me feel as an alumnus. So I've mentioned this several times on this program and Banda's breakdowns before, but I'm going to say it again. When I was going to school there, no one went to the football games. I mean, it just wasn't a thing people did. Illinois, the product on the field wasn't very good. Really, the biggest intrigue of being an Illinois fan was that Lovie Smith was the coach. So he was the most prominent figure on the team. The players, this is no disrespect, they had good players, and obviously Chase and Sidney Brown and Witherspoon, they're all in the NFL now. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, Lovey was the biggest name on the Illinois team, and he didn't even play. He was the coach. So during those years, it was tough because he was trying to sell something of relevance that wasn't there yet. He was trying to sell the intrigue of playing in Champaign and playing against all these good programs, but it was playing with them, but not necessarily competing against them. And that's the difference with Brett Bielema. He's come in, he's restored the whole program. He recruits the state of Illinois, especially downstate Illinois, like it's nobody's business. He practically owns downstate Illinois. I mean, he's very rarely, very rarely lost a downstate guy to a school that Bielema didn't want already in the program. So that's like a big note there. That's number one. Number two, he's found quarterback success. Outside of Brandon Peters, who was still from the Lovey era, every quarterback that Bielema has had, even though one of them was brief, either whether it was John Paddock, Luke Altmaier, who obviously has 3 guaranteed games left under Bielema, and then of course Tommy DeVito, who's now in the NFL. He's a backup quarterback, and he's bounced around a little bit. The Giants. I'm pretty sure he's on the Patriots now, but nonetheless, though, um, what was I gonna say? But what I'm saying is quarterback stability has been a big deal, and then he's obviously had some really good defensive players under him. So the program culture is different. Illinois expects to win every like it's just I don't think people realize, and it's cool. You don't have to care about football. It's completely fine. But if you do and you claim to be an Illinois fan and you're not excited that this team has a chance to win every single week, then I'm sorry, you're not really an Illinois fan if you're not watching this team every Saturday and not turning the game off, because every week they have a chance to they have a chance to win. Like, in all my years of being there, it was never like that. Like, it was always like, if I went to a game and Illinois was trailing 28-6, the game was over. Now, as long as it's not in the 60s, or the 50 pluses, I think Illinois has a chance to come back almost every week. So, they are a special team. They're a fun team to watch play. They're exciting. They're exciting as could be. Obviously, as I just alluded to, 3 guaranteed games to go, a chance to clinch a 9-win regular season. Um, a chance to finish the home schedule with all but one loss, win 6 out of 7 home games, and a chance to clinch back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time ever. I mean, you can't ask for a better situation than right now in Champaign Urbana. There's never been a better time, and I understand I'm only 26. I don't remember the 80s belong to the Illini era. I don't remember any of that because I wasn't born yet, and I was too young to remember the Sugar Bowl team in '02, and I was certainly too young to remember the Rose Bowl team. I wasn't paying attention to Illinois when I was 8 years old. I knew friends of mine who were telling me that, oh, Illinois is going to be for real. They're going to be really good, and I never believed them. I would always, back in my 8 to 18-year-old self, I would always divert to, well, look at what Michigan State's doing, because I grew up a Michigan State fan, and now I can say with confidence, and this is no disrespect to MSU, and I still like the basketball program and stuff, but I mean, oh my God, like the lack of relevance for my childhood program that I grew up rooting for compared to the school I went to is unbelievable. That no wonder I fully converted. I mean, Michigan State. Let's just be real; they haven't been relevant since. Well, now with the sanctions that just came down with the vacated Big Ten wins, they haven't been relevant since Mark D'Antonio was there. So what's the point of me even being excited about a program I used to cheer for every Saturday when there's no substance? Michigan State is they're about to fall flat on their face. It should fire Jonathan Smith. I don't know if it will, but it should. He clearly isn't the answer in East Lansing at all. This guy has no Spartan identity whatsoever. They need a guy with Michigan State roots to be the next coach to fix this whole thing. They need some people were saying Max Bola should come back and coach them. I mean, shit. I don't know what Pat Narduzzi's buyout is, but holy cow, him coming back to East Lansing would be a big breath of fresh air for that program because I think he would do wonders for Sparty in 2 seasons. I really do. Because when Michigan State is good, the Big Ten is better for it. But yeah, back to Illinois though. Like, I'm sorry. I'm loving this. I love this team so much, and I love our quarterback. I'm so sad that he only has a few games left. He is to me the best quarterback of my lifetime so far, and I'm so excited to tell my kids about him. I'm so excited to tell my grandkids about him. Like, he was just unbelievable. So senior day, I got to smell the roses for Altmaier. I got to go, so I'm hopefully going to the game in a couple weeks, and I just want to. Well, after I speak to him, I just want to shake his hand and just thank him for everything he's done for Illinois because he's done wonders for the program. I mean, this guy's a legend. He'll be in the U of I Hall of Fame one day, whether it's in 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years. He will have a welcome back ceremony like no other when he returns to Champaign for the first time whenever he decides to do so. So, great player, great leader, good person. Just overall, could not be happier with the quarterback play the last 2 seasons. All right, let's look at some other Big Ten scores before we briefly go into survivors. We were going to talk about some other stuff, and we will briefly go over to UFC 322. I will briefly make a mention, but I do want to keep this under 30 minutes. So let's do that. All right, so some other scores from around the conference. Washington bounces back after losing to Wisconsin with a 49-13 win against Purdue. Purdue, unfortunately, is staring down the barrel of possibly a 2-10 season, which is very unfortunate because I think Barry Odom is a good coach. Um, and Purdue has a bye next week, and then they play Indiana in West Lafayette. So I don't envy him at all, and I feel bad because I think he's a chance to be a good coach, and I've said it all year. I really do. Ohio State allowed its first kickoff since 2020, dominating UCLA 48-10. Yesterday, big win for Ohio State. Still a couple more to go though before the Michigan game. I don't think they have a bye this coming week. Ohio State's 10-0 on the year. Yeah, they have Rutgers this Saturday. So let's see, Rutgers is let's see what Rutgers is at now. I don't think let's see. Yeah, Rutgers is 5-5 with 2 games to go, which means it'll have to beat Penn State in the final game of the year to get to bowl eligibility because there's no way they're beating Ohio State at Ohio State. But it's big noon kickoff. Crazier things have happened. But Ohio State and Columbus has been nothing short of unstoppable. So I don't see how that even happens. Um, but yeah, let's take a look at some other scores. Illinois hopefully finishes in fourth place. I don't know. We'll see. See how it plays out. Um, all right, let's take a look at some other scores from around the week. There were a couple bye teams. I think Nebraska was one of them. Yeah, Nebraska was one, and the other one would have been. Let's see. The other one would have been not Wisconsin. Um, Nebraska and fuck. Oh, no Nebraska and no Rutgers yesterday. Those were the two teams on the bye. So, yeah, other scores: USC defeated Iowa 26-21 to remain squarely in the college football playoff discussion, which is good for Illinois because um, Iowa now has 4 losses. So I think Illinois being ranked is a legitimate possibility, even if it's 25, which I think would still be disrespectful. I think 22 is where Illinois should be. That's just me, though. That's my opinion. Oregon dominated Minnesota 42-13. Covered without question easily 26.5. No problem. Ohio State covered by 38. The spread was 33.5, so that covered. And yeah, Wisconsin covered against Indiana, so my bet would have not hit anyway. Um, so congrats to Wisconsin for covering. Um, and that is a bad beat if I've ever seen one because had Wisconsin not scored, Indiana would have covered. That is crazy. Oh my god, that is so bad. That is so bad. What a terrible beat. But yeah, those are the Big Ten scores, and let's move off that now. Okay, so all right, let's move on. Let's move on. Um, to UFC 322. We did unbelievable last night. 10-4 on the night. Hell, freaking yes. 3-2 on the main card. Got the main and co-main event right. Islam Makhachev becomes the new welterweight champion of the world, defeating Jack Della Maddalena. That's 16 wins in a row now for Makhachev, tying Anderson Silva's record for the longest UFC win streak ever. Della Maddalena won 18 in a row, had just won the UFC welterweight title over Bilal Muhammad back in May, so he goes back to the drawing board. A clear unanimous decision for Makachev, 50-45 on all three judges' scorecards. Good win for Makachev and a lot of options. Could he fight Ilya at the White House? God damn it, that would be so fucking fun. But regardless of that, though, tons of options. Could he fight Carlos Prates? Carlos Prates knocked out Leon Edwards. The two fights I lost on the main card were Leon Edwards and Leon Edwards losing to Carlos Prates. I had Edwards, and the other one we lost was Sean Brady getting beat by Michael Morales, also by stoppage as well. There were finishes in almost every fight in the card. The card was exciting as shit. And the only other fights I lost on the prelims, we lost. Who did we lose? We lost the Angela Hill Fatima Klein fight. We had Angela Hill in that fight. And we also lost Malcolm Wellmaker. He was upset by Ewing. Ewing took the fight on only a few days' notice. So we did really well on the card. We did outstanding. Jack Gold went 8-6. So he had a bit of a down week this week. While I bumped my way up to I think it's now 268 wins overall. So I'll take it. I was pretty damn excited about that. So we were 258 and 204. We're now 268 and 208, so I can't complain. With a couple events to go, there's only 3 to go, so hopefully we'll do well on the next. What is it now? I don't know. We've got like 70, 80-ish fights to go for the year, so let's hope we still do decent. I think it's 13 fights on all those cards. I could be wrong on that, but overall, a good night at the office. That was UFC 322. So I was very excited about that. Did very well in predictions. We hit on Novig. I said Islam Makhachev would win. Put a bunch of coins on that. Super happy with how that turned out. And yeah, all right, let's go over some survivors now. We have a couple minutes to go. So let's go over those while we have a minute. We have Miami in the Commander game right now. But on football forecast, we have the under, so hopefully that hits. I have Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Houston, the Bears, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, the Chargers, the Rams, the 49ers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Dallas Cowboys to round out the week in the NFL. We won on Thursday Night Football, 27-14. The Patriots defeated the Jets. So, good stuff there in the NFL, at least so far. So, that's going to do it for another edition of Zan Zinger. Didn't really get into the Polymarket thing like I wanted to do or some other pressing topics, but we got through enough of what we could. We got through a few of the main topics out of the way and stuff. So happy with what we were able to do today. Quick programming note: episode 68 drops next Friday. That's November 21st. 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, only on ETB. So it should be some good stuff there. We'll preview Illinois, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, or Northwestern Minnesota. We'll go over the NFL games of the week, which includes the Bears and the Steelers, which is a game I might be going to. If I'm not going, I'll go in December. We will also talk about UFC Qatar, which is an early start, so I'm going to emphasize that next week. It's I think a 9 a.m. Eastern start for the prelims and a 1 Eastern start for the main card because of the time difference in Qatar there. It was almost like the Big Ten was speaking to me. They didn't want me to miss UFC, so I could watch UFC, and then right after that, I can watch Illinois beat Wisconsin. So I'm excited about that. That should be good. But what else is there? I think that's gonna do it though. Again, Zanzinger Part 2, as always. My name is Zan Bando, host of Bando's Breakdowns, co-host of ETB Sports. I will catch you guys on Wednesday for the newest edition of ETB Sports. That'll be episode 296. Then again on Friday for the newest edition of Bando's Breakdowns. And then again on Saturday, because I will be back this week, football forecast with myself and the rest of the crew, and so much more. So until then, have a good one. This has been a production of Playback, Kick, Twitch, which by the way, I didn't even shout them out. You can go on Kick and Twitch right now or right after this is over and watch the replay of Zanzinger Part 2 in every playback stream we do across the network. But until next week,